I suppose there's a first time for everything, isn't there? And if you've seen the first part of this series of 2, hopefully, videos, crumbs, better not be a third, you will remember I had a slight mishap when I was listening to an audio transcript of a Public Health England mailing list and melted the coin. So I got another one, and I've just given it a bit of a basic brief polish just to make sure that the detail's okay. And I think actually this is probably slightly better quality than that other one. So I have to be very, very careful with this particular coin now. And I'm not filming any of that, am I, dickhead? I'm more conscious of looking at the coin. Right, that's good. Right, now let's zoom out and then everybody can see what I'm doing badly. So first, annealing. As you can see, it changes the colour ever so slightly as well. There are various ways of annealing a silver coin. I think this is 0.72 silver. You can put a little bit of a magic marker. So what a lot of people will do is they'll get one of these and they'll just put a line on it. And then when the coin's the same, or when you can't see the line, then that's annealed. But I prefer to usually, I will add, didn't last time, err on the side of caution. So I'm not going to go through everything. I'm going to punch the hole in it with our hole punch. I'm going to clean the inside of the heel out with the deburring tool, polish it on the inside, make sure there's no imperfections, and I'll come back when I'm going to start the fold. To fold it. Oh yes. I don't think I've ever been this careful making a ring. Actually, I did a gold, can't remember what it was. It was a gold coin anyway, which I was probably more heart in my mouth. So I've done the first fold with the stainless die cone, and now this is the first. And I'm not even going to go all the way. It says, I'm not going all the way. That looks fine. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean this again on the inside before annealing it and taking it any further. Because, apart from melting, one of the other significant risks is any imperfection. Don't know how well that's going to show up, probably not very well. Any imperfection can then lead to that splitting. And I keep this little thing here just to remind people what I mean. That's what happens. And as soon as that happens, that is then no longer a coin or a ring, it is scrap. And we don't want any more scrap silver. Thank you very much. So, clean that up. I'm not sure how well this is gonna show on my camera here, but the inside edge there has got a very, very slight imperfection. And that causes me great concern now, because I'm going to need to sand and polish that out. Because if I don't, that will split the ring. That will completely tear the ring. So I'm going to have and when I do sand that out, it's obviously going to be slightly less ring shaped, so then I'm going to have to spin it and take a little bit more off than I would normally have liked. But this is what happens when you try and ring a 60-year-old coin. These are all the challenges, which are quite good fun as well. Right, let's see where we go. Hopefully the next shot won't be me dumping it into the scrap bucket. Much though I thought I'd polished it out, I think it was probably just, I don't know, back to the drawing board, try and find another one. Oh, please let this be third time lucky. So we had my accident while listening to a transcript of a Public Health England list. This, I think, was predestined. I think that just was a flaw, that there was very little I could do about that. So I then went through the entire splitting just as a demonstration of how a ring suddenly becomes scrap, and I will polish that up, and I will put that on display as well in the little display cabinet that I'm going to be taking out when I do shows and stuff like that, if we ever have summer fetes and stuff like that. This now, third time lucky. I'm not going to film this. I don't want to tempt fate back if and when it manages to get done. A quite substantial amount of time later, and we've got further than the last two put together, but I'm still, I don't know, I'm just looking at, I've had a look under the magnifier, and I did find a slight imperfection, but nowhere near that of the last one. So I'm going to, now I've cleaned this all up, abraded it and polished that inside edge, I'm going to continue annealing in the hope that I don't melt it, and take it. This is a size Y this has got to go up to. I mean, that's a colossal ring, just to give you an idea. That inside ell, oh, come here, it needs to go up to that size. So that, it's a lot of stretching. I'm going to go exceptionally slowly and carefully, probably quarter, half a size at a time, and anneal it in between every single stretch. This has turned out to be one of the most challenging rings I've ever made, so I want it absolutely perfect. Now, if I was a proper filmmaker, obviously I'd have had a camera set up there, another one up there, and I'd have done a time lapse, because I have been annealing this between every single tiny little stretch. And we're nearly there, but this is the final few sizes. We need to take the inside edge out, and the reed edge will then be oversized, so then we need to push the reed edge down gently into there, and then I need to work out whether or not I'm going to shave the inside off to make it a more comfortable fit. I probably will, because it is quite a pronounced lip, that reed, but not, I need to be careful I don't do it so as to so as to damage the lettering. That's going to be a question I will return to in a moment if I manage to get it sized properly. One thing I did notice was there is a slight imperfection in the reed there. I don't know if you can see. I mean, not bad for a 1952 coin, a coin that's nearly 70 years old. But I think as I squish it into the sizer there, that should remove the bulk of that little dint. So it's only little, but you know, strive for perfection, etc. It's a shame, but we've got to get it to size first before we worry about that sort of thing. I don't mind admitting there were times when I questioned whether or not this really was possible. It's 72% silver, but I'm not sure what the other alloy will be in there. I haven't really looked it up, but it behaves really strangely. Anyway, I have finished it and polished it and put a coat of ceramic lacquer on. Now I haven't polished right deeply into there because I like to allow the detail to stand out. So if you have a look at where it's got 1952 on there, I've left the wherever possible a little bit of patina inside those. There are a couple of tiny imperfections around the reed, in particular that one, but I think it kind of adds to the character. This is being a 1 guilder coin, it would have been very, very frequently used and changed hands. So for a coin this age, nearly 70 years old, I'm pretty pleased with the condition of it. I think actually looking at the detail, fate played a quirky hand in that this is possibly one of the nicest of the three in terms of the actual detail. So yeah, there we have it, a 1952 72% silver Dutch Antilles, a 1 guilder coin, and wow, crumbs. Nobody is happier than I with the way this has ended. There we have her. I hope you've enjoyed this, boys and girls. If you have, please consider a little subscription to the channel. Be lovely to have you. And hopefully it's more interesting than watching daytime TV. Until next time, stay safe.